let y'all know, man, we ain't went nowhere. We still out there putting it down. The Most High's word is gonna be pushed out there. Now what? Everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sons of Jacob. You still plugged in the matrix. Got me with the cube syndrome. You love to hate this, but let's face it, I'm fully girded, you buck naked. I'm set to be a clip filler, a bone tender, last contender. Left his ass addicted to painkillers. You vain niggas are gonna find out your picture's bigger and greater than your plush navigator. Peace to player haters. You make my status go from minor to major. Like the press claim we America's real life terrorists. But we blessed the best. Forget the rest and quit the foul songs. When it's time to pitch, you gonna mess around and bark. Lyrical night stalk, mess around and get caught. I'm already peeking, me and my brethren. Step to SOJ, you as good as dead man. And that's real quoted. I acquire my throater. Got a grenade without the pin and you can hold it. Volume 1 is when the bomb exploded. It's lethal. Hear the word from the chosen Hebrews. We second to none. And keep it clicking like empty guns. Got knowledge by the ton, but not for fame. We got numerous lanes on our scope and it rains. So hit the road with your $5 ass before I make change. Pump it. Yeah. Bring that hook back.
We burn the midnight oil for blood and sweat for. Lyricals deep like roots and soul. We still standing in the man and grandstanding. Yeah, we got the word and we still standing. We burn the midnight oil for blood and sweat for. Lyricals deep like roots and soul. We still standing in the man and grandstanding. Yeah, we got the word and we still standing. I'm a G like MJ with more balls than 8. Nigga lost with no glory for them calls. I'm making it. I wanna fly for the cause 2 times for my dogs. And I change my style like draws and balls for applause. Then innovation. Who shine like stars and constellations. Congregation of prophets and priests. To say the least, we no face like T. Hoping that niggas get offended. The corpse of the rest are in it. Assassinated and finished. They walking dead. Talking affairs, but I got a file so thick. They snap flicks, X-Files and shit. Taking my mug shot. Niggas mug lots. Waiting for the day when I can plug hots with hot rocks and spitting. 1-5-0 for the rich in the game. Stuck in this world for the lies, so the truth we can bring. We on the corners and curves. Just and birds. I heard niggas don't like it, then bring it, cause I serve like the night stalker. Niggas walking while I'm chalking. But the words they speak, the deceased while I'm talking. It's a role for prophets to demolish with one. Look one, book one. Got out of line and one should done. Cook the beef, it's ready to be served. As I curve and swerve the mic, you observe or I burn. Nigga, please don't concern me. It's just like Calvin Klein from now. We burn the midnight oil to blood and sweat boil. Lyricals is deep like roots and soil. Still standing in the man and grandstanding. Yeah, we got the word and we still standing. We burn the midnight oil to blood and sweat boil. Lyricals is deep like roots and soil. We still standing in the man and grandstanding. Yeah, we got the word and we still standing.
Anytime you wanna see this right here, you know where you can find us. We acting like we can find us. I hate to lie, but this is serious business right here. No? Listen up.
Burning the midnight oil to blood and sweat boil. All praise to the Most High. IQAhmath shot. It's your brother IQAhmath. I acquire first name IQ. It's all the same. Welcome to another episode. Don't shoot the messenger. Friday Night Lights edition. Who's in the house with me? Who stayed up? Who took a nap? Let me find out. Salute and shalom to Uziel, Malachi, shalom, y'all brothers up there in the Pacific Northwest holding it down. Brother Ron in the house as usual. Shalom to you, good brother. Hashemah in the house. Shalom. Kohaf in the house. He's burning the midnight oil. Shoot us, what, 11? Over there in the Midwest, man. Salute to you, good brother. Shalom. Shabbat shalom in the Quab in the house. I know he told me he took a nap earlier. Bayan in the house. He took that nap. He's good to go. Ashar in the house. Salute to you. Al-Dad in the house. Shalom, shalom. And anybody else is going to be tuning in, man. Shalom to you, man. Welcome. Good evening. All that good stuff, man. Shalom, shalom, shalom. You know, since Negroes is out here sensitive now about, you know, Hebrew. You don't say it, say the whatever, man. You niggas want to talk about all this foolishness right now, man. We're talking about real life situations as it pertains to salvation, not about a dialect of pronunciation. That's a whole nother thing. Anyway. Prayerfully, everybody's doing well on this Shabbat evening, man. There's a whole lot of nothing going on. How about that? It's a whole lot of nothing going on. Right. There's a whole lot of going on, but it kind of seems like as the world turns, man, there's a lot of things that we need to discuss, but sometimes it's almost like, yeah, we're still waiting. We're still waiting. Yeah. Well, let's not fret though, because just in, as of a couple of days ago, man, the U.S. told all its citizens to evacuate out of Iran immediately, like right away. Which could only mean, quite possibly, there is an imminent attack that's going to happen. The U.S. has moved in another warship over there. You got the USS Lincoln. I think they just brought in the USS Reagan over there now. We know Agent Orange loves bombing people on the Sabbath, on Saturdays, or not to say that something's gonna go down tomorrow. Could be happening within a week or so. I know we've been saying that for the last couple of weeks. Oh, the attack could happen any minute, but not at the point to where they told all U.S. citizens to get up out of Iran. You're not telling your people to get up out of there unless there's a threat of military action that's going to happen, and they don't want any casualties happening over there. They don't need any collateral damage going on, right? So that's going on. We got some wild activity going on with ICE. We're going to look at that. The nations falling in line with the CBDC. India is on board, with the mark of the beast system, and rolling with the guzzling the wrath of the wine and the fornication of the mother of harlots, right? And much more. All right. So let's get to it, man. If everybody's doing well, if I'm coming in clear, throw a 7 in the chat. Let me know what's happening. And we're going to go ahead and get started, right? Let's start off with, let's look at Mark real quick. It'd be nice if I was sharing, huh? Good. All praises, man. Good to see y'all doing well. Let's start off with Book of Mark, chapter 13. And we're going to start off here in verse 7. It says, "And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet." I know we love to stress. This is like, we're in the end time. This is it. This is it. We still have to go by what the Messiah told us. We know that let's put it like this. I think it's safer to say the start of the ending is upon us. We know that we're in the end times. But we're starting the real end times. Elder Rashad was bringing this out. He brought it out before, but also he in our group chat he sent this information again, and I'll share it with everybody, which is very key too. So you ask the chat or you ask the AI, whoever, and they give their reference points of how long does the average empire last. So on average, a kingdom or an empire, according to AI and according to other historical and reference points, these particular websites, right? They says that the average empire lasts about 250 years. That's the extent of an average empire. America, though, is above average in its nature because it's this is the fastest that the empire was established. But the main thing is that America's so-called birthday will be July 4th, 2026. And this so-called nation would have been established, and this empire would have been established for 250 years. On the nose, 1776 to 2026 is 250 years. So with that being understood, we take that in context and we say, okay, well, you know what? No man knows the day or the time. However, we look at particular markers. We're looking at things in the spirit. We're looking at things as they're elevating and escalating here in the Americas. From the economic situation, from the war situation, from the internal strife going on, the civil war aspects that's happening within this nation, famine. He said, well, we got plenty of food. Yeah, plenty of food, fake food, Franken foods, that they're making up and boiling up in labs to throw out there on the plates. Not real abundant agriculture, right? So the scriptures say in Sirach 5:15, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. So we consider those things. We consider the number. So if we're looking at a marking of the end of an empire, well, America's right on track. And the fact that all of these particular things is happening within this country right now, you've got, Mark 3 tells us a kingdom divided against itself can't stand. I'm going to show you a video later on. They're going to show you ICE. They're divided within ICE. They're divided in politics between the Democrats and the Republicans. They're divided amongst economists. Some are saying, "Go invest in the invest in the precious metals." No, don't invest in the metals. Invest in stocks. Don't invest in the stocks. Invest in the crypto. There's divides against the diets. I mean, this is the only place, man, where there's debates and beefs about vegan, vegetarians, omnivore, pescatarian. I mean, there's continual divide here. All of the religious divides is going on here. It's all a big melting pot of destruction. Things that are going to cripple this particular empire eventually. So the start of the ending is already upon us, right? Let's jump back over to Mark 13. Verse 7 again, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must be. So whether or not this war goes hot or not, even if it's a rumor, we're on point prophetically according to the words of the Messiah, right? So we don't know if Agent Orange is going to push the panic button to do it or not. We know he loves tacos, man. He loves a good taco supreme, shoving his mouth down because Trump always chickens out. He's always pulling back. He'll troll all the way up until there's a hard line there, and then he'll back down. Except for the cases when he wants to bomb on third world countries that can't do nothing to him, like Venezuela, like Yemen, like Nigeria. And you say, well, he was chasing down Arabs. No, remember we showed the videos. There were innocent people in villages that was getting bombed, and they were losing people, and they were saying that, what did we do? Like, this ain't it. And we didn't ask you to do this. Same thing in Venezuela. Starving out and getting ready to destroy Cuba. Yeah, he's a bully. He'll do those things. But when it comes down to really establishing, quote unquote, mano a mano with greater powers, he always punks out. So we don't know whether or not this particular warning that was said to all American citizens in Iran, get out, if that means an imminent bombing or threat is going to happen or not. We know that they, hit Iran up earlier in the year with or last year, I should say, bombing their nuclear facilities, which after we seen out, there was nothing there. They ain't got to drop the dime and moved all of the uranium and everything up out of there. So it was a big nothing that happened over there. They just, destroyed some stuff. So that's why Iran wasn't tripping. They was like, man, wasn't there nothing there anymore anyway? But now they're saying, okay, all bets is off. Play if you want to. And Russia's sitting back saying, yeah, we object to any aggression that America is sending towards Iran. We're against these sanctions. We're against you, telling them that they can't have uranium. We're against you telling them they can't communicate and have relations with us in China. So China and Russia sitting back, waiting patiently to see whether or not America is going to make a move. Continuing on, it says, but the end shall not be yet. So although we're seeing these things, we are not at the end yet. We're at the start of the ending. We are looking at the beginnings of Jacob's trouble. We're looking at, greater forms of oppression, greater forms of persecution, greater forms of false accusations and everything. Verse 8, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There's going to be global conflicts amongst nations. Nationality against nationality is going to be going down. Race wars, civil wars, all those things are going to be happening. Earthquakes in diverse places. We've been hearing and seeing about active fault lines happening on the West Coast. There's multiple earthquakes that's been happening in California, on the coastlines, underwater. We can't really feel them like that, but they're shaking. This earthquake's happening every day all over the world. Continuing on, it says, and there shall be famines and troubles. Again, that's what we're talking about. People's already in famine mode right here in America, wondering where the next meal is going to come from. Remember last year when they cut off EBT and SNAP, and the sisters and people's on there crying on TV talking about we don't know where our next meal's coming from. Over 60 to 70% of the people right now is living check to check, and that's people even living six-figure lifestyles are check to check right now. You seen what happened when COVID went down and the food banks and the lines that was going on? They already had the lines going on last year with when the SNAP and EBT. Well, no, excuse me, the government shutdown was happening. The food lines and the bread lines was already getting wrapped around corners at the food banks, and the food banks were talking about we're stressed out. It ain't too far away, for America to be experiencing famine. That's just here. This is the place where they're having food eating competitions. People are getting paid on YouTube and on the Food Network and all that. Foodies getting paid to go around and stuff their faces with food and sampling here, there, and eating as many hot dogs as you can. This is the place where abundance is here, or as it would appear on the surface level, but on the real, there's a lot of people who's over here starving. When I'm seeing Edomites, man, grocery shopping at the Dollar Tree, real talk, I know it's a problem. First of all, what are you doing at the Dollar Tree? Second of all, the Dollar Tree in the hood. Third of all, you got a grocery cart full of damn food. You know it's a problem when that goes on. And I've seen that on a few occasions. I'm like, damn, I'll get, I might get some cleaning products, a few little things. Sometimes I'll get, some canned goods and stuff like that just for, emergency cases or whatever the case may be. I mean, but they in there really trying to get by. These are the beginning of sorrows, right? So when we're talking about Jacob's trouble, we're talking about the times when we're you're thinking you're stressing now. Just imagine when, the economy cracks, people losing their jobs, banks closing and shutting down, locking down your funds, saying that you can't get it because the banks are insolvent. They don't have the money on hand. If you've seen that movie, 0 Day, not a movie, it's a series on Netflix. 0 Days, big cyber attack. It's America. The banks shut down, man. The people is wilding out at the banks, stressing about getting their money out and all this other. I mean, just imagine, man. Certain stuff like that go down, the grid go down, man. Electronics, everything shuts down. You're in the dark ages again. Second Ezra tells us about sedition among men. People are going to abide by the kings and the princes of rule. Won't be able to go to man designed to go into a city not being able because of famine. People's going to be breaking into each other, their neighbors' houses for lack of bread. It said men are going to be fearful in those days. I think it's you, Bayana. I'm moving. At least it looks like I'm moving. Am I frozen to anybody else? If I am, let me know. I think I'm okay. It might be you, King. If anybody else is having issues seeing me or if I'm freezing up, just let me know in the chat. I'll try to check the chat. But as far as I can tell, I think I'm okay. Continuing on, right? Now, Continuing on verse 9, it says, "But take heed to yourselves, for they shall deliver you up to councils, and in the synagogues ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them." So here we are, prophesying against them, right? Prophesying against who? The scriptures tell us in Jeremiah 28, what is the legacy of a prophet of the Most High? 28, right? Verse 8, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence." So the question is that the prophets, the leaders, those that's in positions of authority, are they, excuse me, in your churches? I can see I'm frozen again. Not sure what's going on, y'all, but if you can hear me, just bear with me. I don't know why it's freezing up. Okay, I think I'm moving now. Bear with me, y'all. I don't know what's going on with this internet, but it seems to be okay now. All right, let me just post this up here and continue on. Damn thing. It's Satan, boy. I'm telling you, man. He's messing up the spirit. All right. Getting back over here. Jeremiah 28, right? "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence." So the churches, uh, the community leaders, whoever, are not talking in these forums, they're not prophets. They're not. They don't have the best interests of the children of the Lord. They weren't sent of the Most High, because the legacy and the words of a prophet speaks against many countries. Not on some kumbaya. We're all going to get along. We love everybody. We're all going to get in the kingdom. The nations can be part of the new covenant. No, because the nations are complicit against the atrocities that's happened to the children of the Lord. They're in denial. They make excuses. They profiteer off of the ignorances and of the downfall of our people. So all countries involved will get prophesied against, because the Bible says that all the nations of drinking of the wine of the wrath of the fornication of the great whore in Babylon, and against great kingdoms. So the men of the Lord don't hold our tongue because we're talking about America. Oh, don't speak about America. Don't speak about Russia. Don't speak about China. No, they're all going to be spoken of, and not in a favorable tone either, because the scriptures say you got to speak against them. If they're wrong, they're wrong. Of war, they ain't talking about war, and guarantee you, go turn on TBN on Sunday, go turn on whatever the broadcast is on TV. Now they're all online. Go to that whatever 2019. What is that church? 26, whatever the hell that damn church is. With that, I forgot the brother's name, man. Jamal Bryant, and any of them. See if they're talking about war. See if they're talking about the evil that's going on. Go see if Joe Osteen is talking about pestilence and evil and war, or is he talking about money and prosperity and how much God loves you and wants you to prosper, so long as you pay them. They're not doing that, right? Because of those things, deliver you up to councils and to the synagogues, ye shall be beaten, right? So even in those days when the apostles and the disciples were speaking up against the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the established leadership, they were being beaten. They were, all of them had suffered death, beaten, incarceration. From John on the Isle of Patmos to Paul, Stephen, The list goes on and on. Same thing is going to be happening to the men of the Lord in these days and times as the churches, who are many of them co-opted by FEMA. That's what they call the clergy response teams. I've talked about them in times past. Many of these churches is already complicit, man. You and we got a sneak peek of who's cooperating, who's on government payroll, who's willing to bow down when COVID hit. When they was pushing, telling the churches, no gathering, make sure that you're encouraging your flock to get poked in the arm, report any outside. And there was plenty of churches that was complicit. I mean, that was complying, and they was going crazy, bowing down. Those are the same ones that's going to turn on you, turn on me, going to deliver us up. They say, finally, we got them damn Israelites up out of our hair. Yes, boss. They're here, they're there, they're speaking ill against us. We've been telling them, we've been on them. Matter of fact, we got a couple of our own inside some of their camps. Monitoring and reporting, informants. All of that. Continuing on, it says, and the gospel must be published among all nations. Why didn't it say to all nations? And the gospel must first be published to all nations. Why did it say to all nations? As some would love it to say. Sorry, that's not going down. It said among the nations. I wonder why. Gotta be published. Hopefully this thing works. God dang it. See, this well, I mess with this. 1 minute it wants to pull up the scriptures correctly, well, how I want it. And then another time it don't want to. Tobit 13, verse 3. Confessing before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them. Among who? Among the Gentiles. This is why, among plenty of other scriptures, right? There declare his greatness and extol him before all the living, for he is our Lord, and he is the power, our Father forever. We're not sharing Yahweh. We're not sharing our Father with no damnations. That's out. And he will scourge us for our iniquities. Yet we pay the price for our iniquities. The nations don't. The covenant wasn't given to them. The nations don't pay the price for us being in sin and breaking the laws of the Most High. They profiteer off of it. Deuteronomy 28 says the nation that's among them will get above thee very high and also come down very low. And will have mercy again and will gather us out of all nations among whom he hath scattered us. Amongst whom he hath scattered us, where? Amongst all the nations. So again, it looks like I've frozen again. Okay, maybe, let's see. Let's see. Maybe if I take this out of the Wi-Fi, maybe this will work a little bit better. Let's see. Most high willing that helps. I can't tell. All right. Continuing on. Let's double back. Hopefully this is catching up. Let me see. Give me 1 second, y'all. Looking like I'm froze again. It looks like the screen is moving. Okay. At least y'all can see the screen. You can hear me. I hope that's the case. All right. Don't worry about me. Matter of fact, since that's the case, I'm just going to do it like this. Bump it. All y'all need to do is just look at the screen. Continuing on, right? I'm going to drop down. Let me just get to the point because this whole chapter is cold. But let's get right to the point. What should we be doing? What do we need to be doing? What's our focus? Verse 33 of Mark, the 13th chapter. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. So we don't know. Jumping back up to verse 32, but of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father. I mean, the Trinitarians, I don't even understand how they can even have an answer for that. They don't have no answer for this. Christ is the Father, and He's all knowing, but He don't know when He's going to be coming back. Wild. Anyway, so that the angels don't know, Yahweh Shai don't know, the Father knows. They're all sitting back waiting, saying, now, Father, when, Father, now, Father. Most are like, sit back. No, they ain't ready yet. No, they haven't gathered together yet. No, they're not fully repentant. No, the elect's not sealed yet. Shut up. Relax. I'll let you know when it's time. And down here, some of us are working hard to, attain to that crown that's been promised to us. Some of us are trying to work hard towards, the security of our salvation. Some of us are working hard towards keeping the laws, and some of us are half-stepping. Some of us is lukewarm. Some of us is out here playing games. Some of us is out here for the money and for the fame, for the notoriety, for the views. So we got a lot of work to do. Meanwhile, all hell is still twirling, and the melting pot in America is bubbling over, oozing out into these streets. And time waits for no man. So we can't take for granted the time that's allotted to us. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. So we look at the signs, we look at the wonders, we look at the events that's going on. We prophesy against the kingdoms and the nations. We looking at the plagues. I mean, everything that's going on right now. But one thing it also tells us, Luke 12:40, be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour when ye think not. So we can't even afford to be thinking, how Israel is. Oh, we got time. How much? That's one question I hate when brothers ask. How much time you think we got? Don't ask me that. You put me in a position to go against. And I know nobody knows, but how long you think? Man, don't ask me that. Don't hold my lips accountable for nothing. I don't know. And I'm not going to sit out there and gamble and say, you know what, the way things go, I think we probably got about 5 more years. Man, we got at least 10. What? Most High said, the Son of Man is going to come in an hour you don't even think. So don't even think about the time, because as a slick old Negro will do, if we knew, we would wait until the last minute to repent and get right. Yeah, man, I heard, 2029, December, the scriptures say, pray not to flight be in the winter. Yeah, that's the time, man. Everybody knows it's been confirmed. So, Negro gonna sit back and wait and say, okay, I got 3 more years to cut up and act a fool. I'm gonna give myself a good 6 months to really get on track and get right. Be found worthy. See, no, that's why you live in the fear of the Lord. Because you say, hey, we don't know when. You can't afford to gamble. I can't afford to gamble. So let's just get right to it then. And just stay on point, right? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Y'all know that. Let's look and see what's going on in the world. Here we go. So, as aforementioned, the U.S. tells citizens to leave Iran now. Virtual embassy issues warning ahead of talks in Tehran's nuclear program. Iran has already said, man, we're not giving up on a nuclear program. We're not surrendering that. That line in the sand has already been drawn. If America's telling us we can't have uranium, we can't have a nuclear program, we can't have access to nuclear power because you're scared we're going to make a nuke and bomb you, it is what it is. But you're not going to keep having us living in third world conditions where, we don't have access to the same things that other nations have. U.S. already struck them down with all these sanctions, man. They all are already over there revolting because they broke pressure bust pipes, man. And they're saying, well, shit, let us get some advanced technology so we can get on board. And America's like, oh, hell no. We don't trust you. That's not going down. So this is why we're at a stalemate. The U.S. told the citizens to leave Iran immediately amid talks over the future of Tehran's nuclear program. Steve Witkoff, Donald Trump's special envoy for peace. Remember Steve Witkoff? Remember him sitting there with Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, when they sat in front of 60 Minutes and Witkoff let loose, spilt the beans about Project Sunrise? Yeah, we've been working on that for years. Talking about redeveloping Gaza and wiping that whole slate clean and turning it into a tourist attraction in a damn a vacation spot, an oasis. Same guy. He's on the envoy going over there to go bump his gums to go meet Abbas Araghchi, Iran's foreign minister, early on Friday at the Muscat summit in Oman. The first face-to-face talks between the two countries since the 12-day war last summer. The talks concluded around 6 hours with Iran's foreign ministry telling reporters that negotiations had ended, quote, for now, and they did not know when and if they would restart. So that should already let you know that talk didn't go well. Because if they're saying we're done talking for now, and we don't know if we're going to talk again. If there was progressive talks, that would be like, it went very well. We're going to meet again in 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. Clearly, that didn't go down. And then after they leave that meeting, what's the USA? Everybody out. Everybody out. It's going down. It didn't go good. There was no indication that Iranian and U.S. officials met face-to-face. Images published by the Oman Foreign Ministry showed both sides meeting separately with Badr bin Hamad al-Usadi, the country's foreign minister. So, warnings have been sent out there telling the U.S. citizens get up out of there, which could only lead to the threat of possibly war. Look at this. The White House and Pentagon confirmed the USS George H.W. Bush. You know, if Bush is involved, it's a problem. And its full carrier strike group are deploying to the Middle East, marking a major escalation in U.S. military presence as regional tensions intensify. We know that the USS, is it Reagan or Lincoln? One of the damn demons they named their destroyer after is already over there. Now they're sending another one. So, if this is indeed fact, the U.S. is over there arming up and attempting to move in the Middle East to surround Iran. Now, I don't know. This kind of looks like AI to me. So, take it with a grain of salt. In the event that it is only, but this is being published. This is out there. Second warship has been sent over there in the Middle East. All right. Matter of fact, okay, so that's on X. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can find a verifiable news source. Okay, so the Defense News is co-signing this. Forbes is questioning is another. The Pentagon confirms it, so maybe it's real. I don't know if they use the AI to show it, but maybe it was a real picture. I don't know. One thing for sure, two things for certain. There ain't no peace on the horizon over there in the Middle East. Remember Agent Orange just got through saying that there's peace in the Middle East right now. Who would have thought it? Peace in the Middle East. Who would have thought it? It's peace in the Middle East. It's going very well. I've stopped 7 wars. You actually started and bombed like 9 countries since you've been in there. Good Lord, man. The dude can't stop flapping that damn fork tongue of his. Anyway, let's continue on. So, The U.S. military shoots down an Iranian drone approaching the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea. So it was Abraham Lincoln, not Reagan. Okay. They were saying that the drones got too close, so they shot it down. So we're seeing escalations happening right before our eyes. And this was on Tuesday. So Friday, yeah, well, I guess it was earlier today. I can't remember if I'd seen an article yesterday or today. Either way, I think I saw yesterday about them telling all U.S. citizens to evacuate. After shooting down a drone, now they're telling everybody to get out. The peace talks regarding nuclear programs didn't go well, right? So the only other place that this could go is up. The U.S. military shot down an unmanned Iranian drone Tuesday after it, quote, aggressively approached a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier with unclear intent. A U.S. Central Command spokesman told Fox News USS Abraham Lincoln was transitioning the Arabian Sea approximately 500 miles from Iran's southern coast when an Iranian Shahed 139 drone unnecessarily maneuvered toward the ship, Captain Tim Hawkins added. I mean, this is very reminiscent of, who knows, a Gulf of Tonkin situation with Vietnam, with the Americans saying that the Vietnamese shot at their boats when they was already breaching territories that was restricted, and they was already told once, don't go over there, and they went back, fired some shots at the Vietnamese all ended up being allied and started that whole war in the Vietnam War, the Gulf of Tonkin. I talked about that before. Y'all can look it up and show how it was all phony. Man, the U.S. lied about them getting fired on. They could be lying about this. Who knows? Oh, it was an unmanned drone. Got too close, man. We had to shoot it down. Yeah, they shot a missile at us, all to get a war started, all to destabilize Iran. Because all they want is really regime change, man. They want their people in. They want people who are complicit with Israel in there. That's what happened with Maduro. Maduro wasn't feeling Netanyahu and them. They got him up out of there. We seen last week that Agent Orange is compromised. They said he is compromised by the small hats. He's getting all of his barking orders from his son-in-law, Kushner, and what's the other cat, man? Stephen Miller. So, far be it from him to get some marching orders from the small hats and go over there and let something fly. We know they're not above lying. We know they're not above war crimes. We know they're not above trying to eradicate whole nations of people. So let's pay attention to that. Continuing on. ICE dropped 70 mil on a massive Arizona warehouse to detain and deport illegals. Remember back in the day, some years ago, it was worried about Walmarts being used for detention facilities and all that. Now, don't worry about those. They're building the camps. There's multiple quote unquote detention centers, FEMA camps being built all across the country. We've talked about that in times past. I showed y'all the 10 FEMA regions, how they got America. Maybe y'all need a little reminder. Let's look real quick. Let's look at the map. So when they decide that this place needs to be regulated and divided up, the regions has already been set. The detention centers being built in every region here, right? So the camps can be established. The budgets is there. I think Agent Orange just signed the damn just signed the budget to stop the government shutdown. Let me see. I believe he did. Yeah, you just signed it the other day. So I don't know how much. I didn't look at this article, but I know they was tripping about the funding that was continually going to ICE, and some other stuff that Democrats was talking about. But um, we seen how much money they already got allotted to them last week. They spending what was it, $5 million or more than that, 50 million. I forgot what it was. They're spending just on social media influencers alone. What was that? Matter of fact, I think I got that one up. Let me see. That was from I don't want to misquote it. I know we talked about it last week. Here we go. I want to make sure I got what the heck? Okay. $100 million in wartime recruitment. $8 million is going to the influencers. Right. So they got the bread, man. And they're building up these facilities. No, where's that? Okay. They're building up these facilities, right? $70 million, man. Whole warehouses that they're going to be locking Jakes up in. And we know it ain't just about quote unquote illegals, because we've been seeing natural born citizens getting locked up, Edomites getting smoked in the streets, men getting harassed, although they've got full documentation that they're legal, American born. Native Americans is getting detained and shipped into these facilities. Arizona's ground zero in the fight to reclaim U.S. borders, with ICE shelling out a whopping $70 million for a 418,000 square foot warehouse in Surprise, the size of 7 football fields. The process in detaining illegal aliens targeted for deportation and acquisition under the Trump administration marks a long overdue shift from the chaos of unchecked migration that flooded communities under previous Democrat-led policies. I mean, look, there was a man just died in ICE facility in El Paso. They're in the double digits now of people dying in their custody in these detention centers. They had to shut down Alligator Alcatraz. I just found that out. I thought it was still cracking. They had to shut that down because of the conditions were so bad over there. And they're looking to do worse. So warehouses are being built, camps are being established, and it ain't just about illegals, and we know that. Now here goes a taco. This is where they, he's playing 3-card Molly. Look where the ball is. No, it's not there. Don't. So and on the surface, it looks like, oh, he backed down. He yanked 700 federal agents out of Minneapolis after Tom Homan negotiated with Democrats. They just sending them elsewhere. They send them back into California, sending them other places. The cops that smoked them Edomites, man, they're still on the job. No reprimands, no nothing. They still good to go. It's no different than like the Catholic priests, man. They get caught up with their hands in a cookie jar and they get permission to another church. Slap on the wrist, they bury it. So they can continue on in their evils. So on the surface level, oh, it looks like a victory. Yeah, the ICE got ran out of Minnesota. Please. They still there. And they still all throughout the country harassing and detaining. We're going to see in a minute. Border Czar Tom Homan, the Ho man, has announced that hundreds of immigration officers will leave Minnesota after months of operations have roiled the state. Effective immediately, we will draw down 700 people. Effective today, 700 law enforcement personnel, Homan said during a press conference Wednesday morning following negotiations with the Democratic leaders, including Governor Tim Walz. So the question is this, right? Now, even though we see this happen, If those people that got put to death, Pretty and what's the other Edomites female's name that got shot? Her name's escaping me right now. If they was black or brown, they would be doubling down with more troops. The fact that they got caught slipping and two of theirs got put, pull them out, you know, calm everybody down. You went overboard. You got caught on film. You got to be more careful. We told you go after blacks and the browns. You're tripping. They're not going to stop this. So you're trying to tell me that all it took was for a couple of Edomites to get smoked up there in Minnesota, and now all of a sudden there's no illegals in Minnesota no more? There's no pursuit of the securing of the border and all the other stuff. Like they gave up on Minnesota. Everybody that's illegal, you safe. You can hang out and you can roam the streets and do what you want to do. You think that's going on in Minnesota? Give me a break. It's smoke and mirrors, man. Smoke and mirrors. Look at this. ICE admits to databasing Americans and creating social credit scores. We have a nice little database, and now you're considered a domestic terrorist. Watch this video because this is also part of the plan. We talk about them being the secret police, the Gestapo, and these hired militia type, hitmen out there on the streets, man. But what they are doing also is this: why they got their phones out, they're recording, they're tracking. I showed y'all the video of the man. Remember the man that was driving, where they're tracking and tracing your driving patterns, and a man that he worked for like a construction company, something like that. And he was traveling from one city to another in Texas, and they pulled him over, and they thought that they said they were suspecting that maybe he was transporting drugs because he was getting work down close to the border and coming back, but they had been profiling him. Pulled him over. Remember, they let him sit in the front seat. They were sitting there talking, and everything was cool. And they're recording. They're taking all of this stuff down. Right? Watch this video. Renee Nicole, throw it.
It's not illegal to record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Why are you taking my information down?
Because we have a nice little database.
Oh, good.
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist.
No, did you hear that? So remember, Christy Nome, the head of ICE, has said that it's illegal to film ICE out there on the streets while they're doing a job. Look, man, they wouldn't even have no goddamn budget for ICE if it wasn't for your tax dollars, my tax dollars, so forth and so on, right? This is the hey, you know what? See, these damn demons, man, is wicked as hell. Wicked as hell. You're basically, and we're basically their employers, right? There's no budget without tax dollars, man. Leave it to Rome to tax their citizens so they can pay the military and they can stuff their faces and have the gladiator games, and they can line their pockets and they can persuade each other, for political measures and means. Ain't no different than what's going on right now. You're paying these cats salaries, man. Same with the police, military, so forth and so on. And here they are acting as if you're wrong because you want to document them on the job. You don't tell your boss, hey man, stop watching how I'm working. Stop monitoring if I'm doing my job or not. That's illegal. You get fired so goddamn fast. Look at this, man. Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. So they go around here winging it, making up laws as they go along, reestablishing and pushing the goalposts further and further, kicking the can down the road as they improvise, as they go, to say, well, we're seeing a lot of things that's going on that's questionable, that's vile, that's oppressive, that's unconstitutional going on. And if these Edomites want to run out there, man, and 10 tribes, and anybody want to run out there and document it as witness, they're saying You don't have no witnesses. You cannot utilize a witness against us. You're impeding our jobs. You're impeding an investigation. Because of that, you're a domestic terrorist now. That's where the NSPM 7 comes into play, where they introduce these new executive laws about your speech, about what you say, what you think, what you're posting. You know, people is getting fired from their jobs from posts that they're making on their own personal social media accounts for having their opinions being expressed on something that has nothing to do with their job. Remember, people was getting fired. They were talking about say something when it came down to Charlie Kirk. When it came down to people, you know, nowadays a lot of jobs is asking for your social media account so they can monitor and they can see your social media posts and what are you involved in before you get hired. Brother told me, man, a brother that he knows, he's well qualified for the job, the whole nine. They were going to hire this Jake, and they told him that the deal breaker was that he was a Hebrew Israelite because they seen his social media and they seen that he was an Israelite, and they said we can't hire you because of your affiliations with a hate group. Mind you, that's the classifications of a quote unquote hate group that the Southern Poverty Law Center says. That ain't what the Bible said. But this is where we're at now. Where the fact that if you declare that you're Edomite, declare that you're Israelite, could mean you losing your job. Because of how viral the Israelite movement has been now, over the last 4 to 5 years, has been really viral, especially during the times of COVID, during the times of Kanye and Kyrie Irving and all of the celebrities going on and Nick Cannon and, all of the public debates the brothers have had out on the streets, whether it's organized debates, the shaming that's been happening with the small hats and the exposing that's been going on. They don't like that. And now they got Uncle Toms and Coons, man, that's sitting up as watchdogs saying, oh, you're one of them? Yeah, we're going to have to let you go. Oh, yeah, we can't hire you here. This is a safe space. Where all are welcome. Except for you damn black Hebrews, the so-called black Hebrew Israelites. We can have anybody from the rainbow community. You can have atheists, you can have everybody else, but not you niggas. No. Psalm 94:20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by Allah? They are up to mischievous deeds, man. ICE is up to mischievous deeds. The government is up to mischievousness. Talking about making America great again, affordable again. How did they do that? Habakkuk chapter 2:12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. It's not up for debate how America was established. At all. Bartolome de las Casas wrote a whole book called Devastation of the Indies regarding the conquering of the island of Hispaniola. If you have not read that book, you need to. The atrocities in that book alone will require the death penalty for all the Spaniard conquistadors. That's just one island. That's the island of the Dominican Republic and Haiti, what's known as Haiti now. Let alone the Caribbean and the Carib Indians. All the Native American tribes have been wiped out, destroyed, oppressed to this day. South America, Central America, the Native American tribes in Canada. And we haven't forgot about the West African atrocities that's happening We haven't forgotten about all the oppressive, things that's happening to our people in the countries where we've been scattered throughout the four corners. But the towns have been established with blood. The children of Israel being destroyed and killed and slaughtered for this land. And even still, let's get back to the beginning. 250 years, the so-called white man spilled his own blood. The red coats and the South against the North and the War of Independence and all that, they killed each other over this damn land. Either way, blood was shed to establish this country. And it has been established through iniquity, meaning it's been stabilized through wickedness, sin, idolatry, fornication, murder, rape, unjust laws, false peace treaties, you name it, broken covenants, corruption, imbalancing of scales, white supremacy, you name it. It's how this place stays established. Iniquity. And the Lord said, woe to him that built it up in that way. So now if you're saying this cat said, look, and you know there's a damn white woman, and she, a Karen out there trying to get him, and she like it's not illegal to record. He gonna say, oh yes it is.
It's not illegal to record.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Why are you taking my information down?
Because we have a nice little database.
Oh, good.
And now you're considered a domestic terrorist. So
We're videotaping you? Are you crazy?
Now she's laughing, right? But remember, ICE has got access to facial recognition technology now. They're being supported by Palantir, which is a well-known well-known technology company that's been known for spying and tracking people. So they're all working together, man. So he said domestic terrorists, that's why they're all pulling out their phones so they can store the databases of the faces. Then it gets downloaded into the database. They track everything. They're wondering, okay, check the social media. What are they posting? Where do they live? What are they doing? Where do they work? Blah, blah, blah. So all these folders are being set up so that when the time comes to really put the pinch down, they come in and get who they want to get. Look at this one. U.S. government unconstitutionally labels ICE observers as domestic terrorists. So you can't even be out just watching, observing, filming, paying attention, and watching, making sure that they're carrying out their jobs lawfully. Because ICE, they ain't holding up to no laws. They're running around here with administrative warrants. They're not running around with federal warrants, kicking down doors. They ain't even got real warrants, man. They doing some damn Alonzo and Training Day stuff with damn Chinese food menus, busting down doors. December 4th, the Department of Justice disseminated a memorandum to all federal prosecutors creating a strategy for arresting and charging individuals supposedly aligned with Antifa. That was the linchpin. When they proclaimed Antifa as a domestic terrorist group, that opened up the door for anybody else who was quote unquote anti-government. So whether you're an Israelite, whether you're what do you call it? What do you call them guys? Aryan Nation, skinheads, whether you're evangelical, whether you're just a hippie and you don't like what's going on, you're riding with the extreme left, doesn't matter. You're all the same. The memo requires DOJ to investigate and identify the, quote, most serious, most readily provable crimes committed by potential targets, including those with extreme views in favor of mass migration and open borders. Specifically, the document defines domestic terrorism broadly to include doxing and impeding immigration and other law enforcement, doxing is not specifically defined. So that's why I said they are making it up as they go along. But the memo references calls to require immigration and customs enforcement agents to give their names and operate unmasked. That's not happening. Individuals who donate to organizations that, quote, impede or dox will be investigated and deemed to have supported domestic terrorism. So even if you're not on the front lines and you're supporting citizen journalism, journalists and all that, they're not having it. They're going after them too. Watch this.
Just wanted to warn you guys now. That's fine. You can record. Just want to let you know if you continue to tell us, because we're already kind of watching you, then we're going to take you guys out of your vehicles and arrest you for impeding operations.
Now you heard him say that's fine. Go ahead. You can record. Christy Nolan and them is saying you can't record. That's impeding an investigation. You just seen the previous guy say, "Yeah, go ahead, film." We're filming you too because we got a little we got a little what do you call it? A terror list or whatever he said. I can't remember what he said off the top of my head. But nonetheless, he's saying go ahead and record. Boy, watch this.
Then we're going to take you guys out of your vehicles and arrest you for impeding operations. So I'm just warning you right now, if you continue to kind of follow us around and monitor us like this, we will take you on and arrest you, okay?
We're not allowed to be in the Home Depot parking lot?
We know you're already trying to tell us. We're watching what you're doing with us.
Yeah, but...
Okay, so when we leave the Home Depot and we continue to see this car follow us, we're going to assume you're following us. We're not going the same directions, I'm pretty sure. So,
is that illegal, though?
Yeah, it is actually. So that's why I'm warning you. If you continue to follow us, you both will be arrested. I'm just warning you because I don't want to have to do it. But if you continue to follow us, that is impeding our operations, and we will arrest you guys. So I'm just warning you now. Okay, you guys have a good day, okay? Thank you.
So he could have and should have, instead of fixing the mask, should have took the damn mask off, acknowledged his name, rank, so forth and so on. Didn't do that, but says that if you are following them, you're impeding their investigation or you're impeding them from doing their job. What does it mean to impede? To hinder, to stop in progress, to obstruct, to get in the way of. Now, if you're following someone, are you in their way? You're behind them. They're free in front of them. You're not impeding anything. They can clearly go to wherever they're going. To hinder, to stop in progress. Why would you be hindered or stopping anywhere when the only way you can stop is if somebody's in front of you? Oh, they don't like being followed. Oh, as the old saying goes, man, where there's smoke, there's fire. So the fact that they don't want to be tailed, they don't want to be, followed means that you probably doing some damn dirt. They don't follow us. No, nobody likes being harassed, though, huh? It's not fun when you're getting trailed. It's not fun when you're getting followed. So now the shoe's on the other foot, and they go ahead and flip the law and say, well, you know what? You're impeding our investigation. You're getting in the way of us from being able to conduct lawful immigration stops and detain. But when we're seeing all of these damn corrupt actions taking place, lawful citizens getting detained, getting disappeared, getting beat down, getting shot. You're damn right somebody should be out there saying, man, watch them cats, man. Make sure they're doing their job. Now they're saying that's domestic terrorism, man. The rules are changing, man. Let's continue. Look at this. Now, we were just talking about this the other day. And there was some social media posts that was going around saying that as of February 6th, the federal protections for Haitians was going to expire, and it was open season on Haitians. And some of the social media posts was kind of alluding to, well, Haitians look like just like Black Americans. Like you can't tell. Everybody's on the table at this point. Like we all got to be careful. They're gonna get all the Black folks down. We told you it was gonna switch. It ain't just the Hispanics. They getting us next. Well, that wasn't totally true. A federal judge suspended that order. Haitians can still work, thrive, do what they need to do in America. There's no problem. So that's why you haven't heard no massive deportations and crackdowns or hunting down the Haitians. However, I did come across this. Minneapolis man detained by ICE, sent to a detention facility in El Paso, returned home, and then got detained again. Watch this.
Grip, stability,
Now,
precision.
and even with this,
That's the
I
essence
was
of driving.
gathering some
Law
of the information a little bit.
Yeah, boy, it's Flavor
I
Flav,
believe,
and I'm bringing the hype to the
I don't
U.S.
have all the
bobsledding.
facts 'cause,
All the agents
I was
downstairs.
looking for an actual article about this online. I didn't find too much, but I was searching through some of the comments and looking for, why they detained his brother. And they said that he's actually Liberian, has been here since he was like 6, 7 years old. They believe, I believe he might have been like a refugee from the Liberian War back in the early, I think it was like in the late 80s, early 2000s. I mean, late 90s, early 2000s. But the problem with him is he apparently has a criminal record because they do mention that he had an ankle monitor. And I think he was supposed to have, it was trying to say his paperwork wasn't right. He was supposed to got deported in 2023 or something like that. But if he's still on an ankle monitor for the last 3 years, why wasn't he deported back in 2023 when they telling them, you're cool here. Just keep checking in with your PO, make sure your paperwork's together. He was doing everything right. ICE got bad intel, stormed the cat's house, man, detained him, shipped him out to El Paso. Then they let him go, come back home. They went and got him again. So ICE didn't know what the hell was going on. They was like, man, they already got me. What are you talking about? That been released. They're like, no, we ain't got that. Just watch this.
They didn't know what was going on.
Folly.
They was even shocked that I was back into custody.
Let me back it up.
They didn't know what was going on. They was even shocked that I was back into custody. They was like, Harrison, please come outside. We want to talk to you.
Look at them outside his house. Look at how deep they are. Guns drawn, vests on, mask, military helmet. I mean, and then you got some of his neighbors out there filming. They trying to watch and see what's going on. He's saying, like, they talking about Harrison, come out. We got to. He's like, what? No, I'm complying. I did everything I'm supposed to do. I'm in the house. Y'all got another. If you got a warrant, you can come in. If not, good day. Watch this.
I was like, no, for what? I just checked in like a week ago, so I know I'm good. Do you have a warrant? They said, no, we don't have a warrant. I was like, okay, go come back with a warrant, and I'll let you in. I could probably say like 10 or 15 ICE agents and cars in the front. Everybody on the block was outside.
What warrant?
Look at it. The agents smashed open the door with a battering ram. Gibson's wife, Tiana Brown, said the agents did not show her a warrant until after they put Gibson in handcuffs. That's why I said they on some Lonzo, what's the name? Training day stuff. Bust down the door, man. They ain't show her nothing. And then show her some fake warrant after the fact. You see that? Oh, Shalak.
All the agents downstairs, they didn't know what was going on.
They said the warrant was not
They was
signed
even
by
shocked
a
that
federal
everybody on the
judge.
block was outside.
Let me see this.
What warrant? Wait.
And somebody, man, Some of these damn ICE agents, man, there was one story, man, I should have got it on here. One ICE agent, man, this dude got busted with a flask, knocked out in the car, drunk on the job. Another one got caught up with some PDF file charges, and they was defending him. That's what I'm saying. They getting, and they getting Proud Boys, right wing nationalists. They getting anybody and everybody, man. Whoever's willing to take a check with full immunity to go act a fool in the streets and go gather up black and browns and harass and detain and ship away and beat down and do whatever you want. That's who they recruit, man. Drunks, dope fiends. The warrant was not signed by a federal judge, which is required under the Constitution's Fourth Amendment to enter a person's home without their consent. Warrantless home invasions is going on.
Wait.
The ICE agents are weird, man. They took trophy pictures with their personal phones. One stood by me on the right side of me, one stood on the left side of me, and they went like thumbs up and took.
Did you hear that? Trophy pictures, man. And for all of y'all that have seen the atrocities and the visual aids that brothers always show, I wish I had a couple of, I do have some on my computer, but I ain't got time to go for them right now. But y'all have seen the lynching photos from back in the days with the Edomites out there smiling and with their hands up, and trophy pictures with the men hanging in the background, the strange fruit hanging in the background, bodies getting burnt up in front of them, castrated men, and they posing in front of the picture. This is the same stuff, man. Same stuff.
Took pictures with their personal phones, and I wasn't the only one they did that to. They did that to everybody, and then took me in the building to booking, pat me down, then cut the bracelet off.
They actually called his cell phone, and I answered, and she's like, "Where's Garrison?" And I'm like, "Huh?" She's like, "Where's Garrison? He doesn't have his ankle monitor on. Where is he?" And I was like, "You took him." And she's like, "I'm not even in Minnesota."
So the department that is responsible for monitoring you all of these past 17 years didn't even know
where he was.
Everybody in the
you see that this cat's been on parole or probation or something for 17 years. His parole officer didn't even know where he was. She thinking he took the monitor off and gone somewhere. ICE ain't even communicating, saying that we've got a warrant to go collect one of your probationary, one of the cats you got on probation, you supervising. They don't even know. They thinking this cat done broke probation. He skipped out. That could have been a whole nother problem for the jail.
I'm holding tank, has shackles on. So imagine trying to walk around everybody with shackles on. You got to use the bathroom in front of everybody.
Seems like the whole point was humiliation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Did you see that? It said that he went to the Whipple building. I guess it was just like a detention, holding cell or whatever, like a county jail type of situation. They told him, don't remove him. A judge ordered ICE not to remove Gibson from Minnesota. ICE ignores that and shipped him off to El Paso. Look, the same day, ICE offered Gibson and others.
And I said, like, how can y'all deport me? And I've been following all these instructions for all these years. And the guy was like, it's above my pay grade.
Yeah, Oscar, I don't know if he was on it. I think when he's saying 17 years, I believe that's how long, maybe that might have been how long he's been, an active citizen and making sure he's checking in under his citizenship or whatever. I think he got caught up in a drug case a few years ago. and that's what's got him on his ankle monitor supervision. But all of the facts I'm still gathering. I'm just tripping off of the fact that they did a warrantless or a legal warrant arrest and went into the cat's house, detained him, went against a federal judge's orders, shipped him off to El Paso. Then when they realized, like, damn, we wasn't supposed to do that, they brought him back, and then they went and got him again.
Got home, my family was there, gave everybody hugs, and we just
celebrated. Actually went to the neighbors to thank them. It was late at night.
I was supposed to go check in the next day. I wake up in the morning, we drive to the Whipple building. They come out, say, I'm being taken back into custody.
He was able to call me, and I could hear them in the background, like, why is he here? They did not know what was going on, like why he was back, why he was rearrested.
Where it's clear that one part of ICE is doing something, but the other part of ICE has no idea what's going on. And it's that other part of ICE that was the ones that were responsible for your order of supervision. There's always been a systematic way of doing a deportation.
You see that? They operate in complete confusion. Yeah, exactly. They using administrative warrants. But they saying even the damn warrants ain't getting signed by judges or maybe they ain't got to have a federal judge's warrant signature. But I mean, this is just wicked. All right. This is ridiculous. Now, the Jake ain't been super clean. He did have a criminal record, obviously. But if he's been compliant and been following along with all of his, his particular restrictions for 17 years, man, leave that dude alone, man. Anyway, let's move on to this conversation. You can't have guns, man. Remember what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, Trump got asked about, the whole Alex Preddy situation, and he said it was a terrible thing, but he had a gun. You can't have guns. Can't have guns. Says who? He had a lawful firearm on him under his Second Amendment, under state law. He had every right to have it. Now they talking about you can't have a loaded weapon. I mean, what's the point, man? You gonna go out there with blanks? Go out there just to front? Now, watch what this dude, Kash Patel, says. Look at it. You can't have guns. Trump and his administration make war against Second Amendment. Bondi moves to restrict handguns. I don't like that he had a gun. I don't like that he had 2 fully loaded magazines. That's a lot of bad stuff. You can't have guns. You can't walk in with guns. You just can't. That's quoting Agent Orange. Now, listen to what Kash Patel says.
Scenario. And so what we're asking people to do, what I'm asking people to do is on the ground in Minnesota is, why would you bring a firearm in a situation that is so volatile right now?
Why not? He just told on himself a situation that's so volatile. Now, everybody's seen the video with Alex Preddy. There wasn't no volatile. There wasn't hundreds of people out there. It wasn't no big old mass protest and riot. There's a handful of people out there, and they was out there filming, and ICE went and attacked a woman. He steps in to protect the woman, gets maced, they jump him, take his gun, and next thing you know, shots rang. Now they're saying, why would you even go there? It's volatile. ICE is on edge. They tripping. You're instigating. You're by you following along with the law and your right to legally carry a fire. You're the problem. Can you imagine? He's saying, why would you do that? Well, we're asking, you can't ask somebody to do that. We're asking you not to abide by the Second Amendment, not to, have the right to bear arms and protect yourself and your family. Don't make us take it.
In a situation that is so volatile right now, where so many arrests have been made, where so many people are coordinating to attack and expose federal law enforcement officers. That is just not smart.
Did you hear what he said? Expose. Expose federal law enforcement. What are they being exposed on, Cash? What are they doing wrong? Man, the devil's in the details, boy. The heathen can't even speak clean because he's speaking with white man language.
Enforcement officers. That is just not smart. It is just not going to lead to a good scenario. And so we need everybody to tamp down, obviously, on that side.
On that side, right? So now that you can't go to a rally, you can't go to a protest with a legal firearm on you because you're going there in a hostile environment, and they're going to assume that you're trying to expose federal agents who's probably doing some dirt. Is probably going to do some dirt. So don't do it. Unreal.
What we're asking.
Twilight Zone. Uh-oh. Trump slammed after sharing disgusting video of Michelle and Barack Obama as apes. Is anybody surprised? Is anybody surprised? Look, this is the Make America. And you know what's so funny? Tim Cook, Republican, came out and said this is the most racist thing the White House has ever done. Tim Cook is a black man that sat up there smiling and was so happy that his master got elected. Let me pull him up. So in case y'all don't know who Tim Cook is. Oh, Tim Scott, Tim Cook. Tim Cook is a damn sodomite from Apple, I believe. Where is he at? Did they show a picture of him here? I don't think so. But if y'all remember, I remember him pulling up Tim Scott. There you go. Look at him. Massa done won. Massa's gonna help us. Massa's with us. He gonna make America great again. That's right. That's right. And now he's sitting back saying, lamenting the fact that he done shown them teeth for good old boss. And boss behind him is saying, that's right, monkey. That's right, gorilla. That's right. You keep speaking like a damn ventriloquist, like he got his hand up his rectum, smiling behind him. Now Tim Scott. Now Tim saying, hey man, you got me, man. You deceived me. I thought you was one of them good white folk. I thought that was, oh no, Tim Scott rips Trump over racist meme video of Obama's president, deletes it. Oh, you got buyer's remorse, Tim? Huh? Good old boy, Uncle Ruckus. Now he's upset, huh? U.S. President Donald Trump has been slammed as disgusting for appearing to share a video of Michelle and Barack Obama as apes. Let's be clear. Sirach 10 and 2, as a judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So, yeah, Stephen from Django Co-op, there you go. Tim Scott, Stephen, out here bootlicking and knuckle dragging for Massa, man. Now all of a sudden he's, man, that wasn't right. That was racist. You should take that down. Nigga, you didn't know he was already like that? What's wrong with you? We've seen it time and time again. He's came out his mouth saying multiple things against black people. When he referred to places like Haiti and West Africa as its whole countries, letting you know he didn't want nothing to do with it. The fact that his first presidency, he had one black person on his cabinet, which was Ben Carson, Uncle Ben, and he put him over HUD and affordable housing. Basically, like, man, you go take care of your people over there in Section 8 and HUD. That you should be comfortable over there. This administration, do y'all know of any black people that he appointed in any particular cabinet positions of authority? No. I think we found one Jake. I found a year or so ago, and I forgot what he was over. But I don't even think that's relevant. You don't never see him around no damn black people. But here you go. And look what they say. Oh, the White House offers a shameful Lion King excuse for Trump posts racist videos of Obama's as monkeys. They doubled down. Caroline Levitt, the mouthpiece for Agent Orange, she comes out and says, this is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from the Lion King. Please stop the fake outrage and report on something today that actually matters to the American public. Did you hear this white broad, man? Do you hear this broad? This witch? Post something that actually matters to the American public as the leader. So in other words, she's saying, hey, everybody thinks like the president. Everybody that's on board with the red and white MAGA hats and everything, we all think they monkeys. Like, you know, you see all of the slanderous things that's being said through them Epstein emails and the Zionist mouth. That's the Zionist opinions or thoughts that they have about the Goyim. Talking about, you know, how they taking advantage of the Goyim. They gonna wreck the economy, buy things pennies on the dollar. All the Goyim ain't they're only supposed to be service to us. I mean, holding a biblical standpoint, but they ain't the people. They don't have the authority to say that. We do. How they got Trump in the pocket, man. All that stuff, man. So he's the king of the jungle. And it just so happens that they decided to put the two black people's faces on monkeys, man. Oh, that's just fake outrage. There's no subliminal messaging in that. Well, how come you didn't put the Clintons as the monkeys? They double. Well, it is Friday Night Lights, man. The bitch doubled down. Kids, close your ears if you up still. Doubled down and said, man, this is fake outrage, man. This was just a meme. Knock it off. The video was part of a flurry of social media activity to amplify Trump's false claims that the 2020 election was stolen from him. I mean, the fool's still whining about the 2020 election, even though you just got reelected again. You got it. What are you still trying to detract and show some fake outrage about the 2020 election and how it was stolen from him? So what? If you got, okay, you would have been over with in 2024. You would not be seeing any rulership from 2024 to 2028 then. He'd have been over with. So what's he complaining for? It's the latest instance of the president being accused of racist attacks on his political opponents. Okay. So let's be clear, man. Lest anybody believe when he says, I've done more for black people than Abraham Lincoln. Nobody's done more for the blacks than me. I love the blacks. If you believe that, man, I got 20 acres on Mars to sell you dirt cheap. Empty your bank accounts and it's all yours. Send it to me. I love the blacks. I love to humiliate them. I love to keep them down. I love my boot on their neck. I love them when they beg. I love stealing their jobs from them. Come on, man. If it what is that old saying? If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Okay. Clintons capitulate on House Epstein inquiry, agreeing to testify. Hillary and Dirty Bill, man, they gonna flip the script, man. They gonna start snitching. At first they was saying they ain't gonna say nothing bad, and then they was told they're gonna be held in contempt and can get locked up for a year and a day if they don't come and spill the beans about their involvements with these emails and the Epstein files. So they said, okay, we're gonna speak on it. We're coming clean. And even Hillary said, you can film my whole testimony. I don't care no more. I mean, them old bag of bones, man, what they care anymore, man? They part of the Dixie Mafia. They got a laundry list of dirt on them. Corrupt as corrupt could be. And now they're gonna go out there and they gotta speak. Just like Ghislaine Maxwell, they made her speak, and what she do? She got up out of there, man. They got her in Club Fed down in Texas now. She's living good for all intents and purposes compared to what she was doing. So the Clintons now are trying to exonerate themselves by canary singing. Bill and Hillary Clinton agreed on Monday to testify in the House Oversight Committee's investigation into the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, capitulating to the demands of its Republican chairman days before the House was expected to vote to hold them in criminal contempt of Congress. For months, the Clintons had been adamant that they would not comply with subpoenas from Representative James R. Comer of Kentucky and panel Republican chairman that they have described as invalid and legally unenforceable. Imagine that. As much as the vile things that we've been hearing and seeing through these particular files, man, from rapes to molestations to assaults to possible murders, and the Clintons' names is running all through it. Agent Orange's names is running all through it. All kind of people's names is in it, and they like, we ain't speaking on it. How would you decline that? See, that the law even tells this. This is how you know, man. America has no shot at being redeemed or saved. The scriptures even say, man, let favor be shown to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. I think that's in Isaiah. That's in Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. You can give him all the chances as they want to, man. Niggas out here pleading for the Gentiles to be saved and get them salvation and everything else. The Lord said, go ahead and try. Try to teach them, try to get them to be converted, try to get them to be on the right path right now. They will not learn righteousness. It's not going to be the kingdom come, and they see the iron rod of Yahushua and the elect, that they're going to get whipped into shape, and they're going to learn the hard way. Other than that, the Lord said, favor has been shown to the wicked, but he will not learn righteousness. Up until the last maybe 7-8 years, the so-called white man and the Amalekites have had to concede and start saying, there are some black Jews. There are, you guys are correct, but not on the whole. There are some. Years before that, they would be in complete denial. You guys are crazy, you're delusional. There is no black Jews. You guys are no. But they had to buckle under the pressure of the prophecies, the archaeology, the exposing of their heritage and their lineages and their bloodlines, their conversions. When all this stuff coming out, they had no other choice but to concede. And even with that being understood, you've been shown favor by saying, man, cease from sin. Listen, hand over the keys. And maybe you get some mercy shown to you. No, they ain't gonna do it. They can even say, man, you guys are absolutely right, but we don't agree with that slavery stuff. We don't agree with captivity. We don't agree with you guys ruling over us. We're gonna work. We're gonna work together. They just don't want righteousness. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. It's not in them to do it. Exodus 23:2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, which we're seeing all throughout them files, and we're hearing the Clintons talk about we ain't complying, we ain't doing until they said, well, you're gonna speak, otherwise we're gonna lock your asses up. See, the law says, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many rest of judgment. So when there's judgment on the table and you have evidences as a witness and information that you can bring forth to end the wrestling over judgment, and you decline and say, that ain't my business, I'm out of it. The Lord said you are in contempt of breaking the laws of the Most High. And that's why Esau is going to go, and America is going to be destroyed, and they're going into bondage and captivity and ultimately extinction. Because in their spirit, they will not and cannot do righteousness. Not sustainably. You may have you're gonna have a few that's gonna comply, they're gonna try, but eventually they're gonna try you, they're gonna try us, and the Most High said that's why they gotta go. That's why they have to be, there shall be none remaining. Because they have a propensity to fall back into their evils and fall back into their willfulness and fall back into their pride and fall back into their bloodlust. No, gotta get rid of them. Just like here, they have every opportunity to say, yeah, we cold busted, man. We's involved in it, and this all worship and the cult and the child sacrifices and all kind of stuff is going on, and we're sorry, and we want to make things right. We're gonna speak. No, they was holding on. We're not complying for cold criminals, man. You know the rules of the streets, man. No snitching, no cooperation. Don't say a word. You did dirt, man. Do the time. Deal with it. Otherwise, you'd be considered a rat. You understand? So they're looking at rat now. We're gonna see how deep they go with the questioning, if they're going to implicate Agent Orange. Are they going to implicate anybody else? Because Agent Orange, yeah, his name was floating through there. We heard about him and the 14-year-old girl getting favors done to him, and she bit down and he slapped. Now they saying, "Oh, those were unfounded. We don't know if that's true or not. You can't hold him to that." Okay, well, smoke this fire, man. We didn't heard so many comments that's coming out of his mouth about his propensity for women, young, old, and the whole nine. Yeah, give me a break. India introduces a monthly CBDC based on digital food coupon. So, again, if we're looking at the marketer beast in the system that's being instilled, digital wallets, digital IDs, digital food coupons. We were just talking about that last week, wasn't it, Bound, regarding the food apps. The apps for the grocery stores. Like Sam's Club. You can get the app on Sam's Club, you go in there, you scan your own food, they charge your card, you walk up out of there. Same thing with Whole Foods. They got your card scanned into your phone. They put your palm print on there, they scan your palm print, match it to your card. People are already paying now with their palm prints at Whole Foods. Now imagine they flip that and say, okay, your carbon footprint, your food coupons, you're not allowed. You can't buy this, that, and the third now. No meat for you. No, you're strictly you're on a oatmeal and GMO corn diet. For whatever that we're cutting off your ability to buy this, that, and the third. That's where all of this, underliningly can lead to. The shutting off of your food coupon, your digital food coupons. They've been track tracing and monitoring food purchasing and buying since they introduced the rewards cards for the grocery stores back in the early 2000s. You got your Ralph's card, your Vons card, your Kroger card, your Albertsons, your Costco. They give you little rewards if you use them. Oh yeah, you use your card, you're gonna get 2 for 1 for this. All that gets downloaded, all that gets saved. All of those little group club cards and all that was the beginning of the tracking. Now here we see in India food coupons being utilized, directly deposited into digital ID wallets under a rationing scheme. Larry Fink says India is leading the world in tokenization and digital IDs, and the U.S. needs to catch up. Larry Fink, the head of BlackRock. He says the U.S. needs to catch up. India, which recently became the most populous country in the world, 1.48 billion people are in India, introduced a new monthly scheme that would issue central bank digital currencies directly to citizens' digital ID wallets. The Aadhaar monthly coupon tokens referred to as, quote, digital food currency. Yeah, I've talked about and we covered Aadhaar. They were one of the first ones. They got damn near the whole population is on the digital ID system, under the Aadhaar system. Now they transition the food onto the digital. And them damn Elamites over there, man, they don't know no better. They over there worshiping cows. They just want to eat. Remember with King Antiochus, he said all the heathen left their religions and customs and immediately became Hellenized. The heathen's going to fall in line right away because they're already drinking the wine. Look at it. The concept was first proposed in November last year by the Western Provincial State Government of Gujarat, outlining a model aimed at making the public distribution system cashless and more transparent. The Indian Express reported the government would issue digital rupees or so-called digital food coupons to recipients. We don't need to read any more of this, man. This is going to translate to China and all the other nations are going to follow suit. Watch. AI's apocalyptic jobs prophecy is about to become a reality. Remember last week we talked about they was already talking about the universal basic income over there in Europe, $1,600 a month to do nothing. And it was highlighting a woman who was an artist. They always be clowning people who go to college for an art degree. They're like, man, that's worthless. There ain't no jobs in art. What are you doing? Basically giving everybody a heads up, man, that jobs is gone. AI, robotics, and everything else is going to be left. Food rations is going to be put on digital IDs for those that comply. And your daily meal will consist of a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, a tortilla, and something else, according to the Secretary of Agriculture here in the U.S. And all those are going to be genetically modified. So go figure. And Anthropic, the artificial intelligence business behind the Claude co-working bot staff are increasingly uneasy about the power of their own creation. In response to an internal survey in December, one Anthropic employee frets, in the long term, I think AI will end up doing everything and make me and many others irrelevant. You think? Another says, it kind of feels like I'm coming to work every day to put myself out of a job. The impact of AI on jobs has been fiercely debated by tech leaders such as the advent of ChatGPT 3 years ago. In one camp, there are AI evangelicals who promise a golden age of productivity where a booming economy means there is enough work for everyone, human and AI alike. They're completely delusional. In the other, there are the doom mongers warning that the world is on the edge of a job apocalypse. There's no doom. You see how they make it? The reality is, yeah, everybody, even in the tech sector, saying AI is going to take over most of the jobs by 2030 and beyond. People are being replaced. Ask all the people at Amazon, UPS. They're in the 100,000 plus of them being laid off in the last year or two. Most being replaced by AI and robotics. That's doom mongering, or is that the truth? But they make it sound, oh, the AI and evangelicals, those are the good ones. They're the ones saying there's going to be work for everybody. I mean, come on, man. Can you imagine that you see what this guy says? It kind of feels like I'm coming to work every day to put myself out of a job. Can you imagine training somebody that's going to take your job? You're getting laid off and they done brought a temp in because they're going to pay the temp less money. And they say, man, train her or him up on your job before you go. You would already be like, man, F that, I ain't training them. I quit now. But you can't quit. You need that. You need to get laid off so you can get unemployment. So you got to sit there and suffer. You got to train somebody that's going to take your job, man. That's how bad it is. Look at it. Layoffs in January were the highest to start a year since 2009. Challenger says. But hey, Agent Orange says the economy's going great. There's no inflation. The dollar's as strong as ever. What's everybody crying about? He can't blame the Democrats. He can't blame slow Biden. You've had a year to implement policy, to do what you need to do to turn this thing around. This thing is going down even faster. Tariffs ain't working. That's out. All of the big company, all the big countries that you was slapping them tariffs on, they all came together and said, man, F America, we're going to come together. We'll do our own thing. He lied and said they made billions of dollars from the tariffs and they're going to give it back in derivatives and everybody going to get a minimum of $2,000. He ain't even get enough money to even do a fraction of that. So we see what's going on. Crypto, all them, that's crashing like crazy. They've been trying to manipulate the dang metals since last week, early into this week. Stock market's been crashing. It just had a little rebound at the end of the day. So they cooking the books, they flipping the script, they trying to, maintain the last little grasp of what they have on the economy. But when it's all said and done, man, this thing is at the start of its ending, right? Let's get back to the beginning. It's not looking good, right? So that's why we pray, because we don't know when the day is, right? So we stay locked in. Hopefully everybody got a little edification tonight, man. Got some things to chew on, nibble on, man, to sleep on overnight. For those that tuned in this evening, those that got up in the morning or in the afternoon and tuned in, man, all praise to the Most High, man. The water for tuning in. Make sure you watch our closing Shabbat class too, man, tomorrow, 3:15. And we're going to close it out in a righteous fashion. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, IQAhmath. This is Brother IQAhmath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. Always remember, fear the Most High. Keep the commandments. Don't shoot the messenger.